I look horrible. I mean, I have a migraine, but I look really bad.
No, you look beautiful. What are you talking about? Hello, everybody.
Instagram is not.
At least
Sorry.
we're live on Facebook
Okay.
and YouTube. Give us
Yay.
1 second, please, to get on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm trying to add you. It's being so slow to think of anything right now.
Okay, so it tells me that you're live, so now I see it.
Okay. All right. So
Okay.
I did.
We're good. We're good.
Hey.
We're good. Hi. All right, let me turn
Hello,
this
lovely.
down. Can you hear me okay on everything?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're good.
Okay.
Okay. So welcome back to I can't talk. Welcome back to the weekly pet roundup. My name is Jessica, and with the Pet Parenting Reset, this is Isabel, and her amazing show is covered in pet hair. And today we are talking about cat boarding because it's the summer season. Everybody's going to be traveling. This is something I have never done. I have never boarded a cat, and I am just so curious because you are the professional pet sitter.
I was the professional pet sitter, and now I consider myself a pet sitting industry advocate. And
Yes.
so, yes, I have a lot of thoughts on this.
Yeah.
And they may not actually be what you think they are.
This is caffeine for my migraine. I'm just letting everybody know. I'm resorting on day 4 to alternative therapies.
I have never
But it is a
seen Jessica Fisher drinking something so scandalous.
I know, but it is a Mexican Coke, so it's not corn syrup, it's real sugar. So.
Yes. And all it's missing is a little rum. Would that help or hinder the migraine?
I don't know. I'm telling you, I'm thinking of all the things that could potentially, like, bringing blood flow to other parts of my body. Like, I'm thinking of all the things. Because I'm on day 4
I was not prepared. I did not come to happy hour prepared. I did not. Wow. I'm loving this so much. This is exactly what I want to happen during the weekly pet roundup. But yeah, I don't even drink Coke. Mexican Coke is way better than regular Coke. So if we travel or something and we're tired in the car, we'll buy one of those. And it's better because it's in glass bottles instead of everything else and all that good stuff. Yes. So, but I am not judging you. I'm just teasing.
No, judge away. Judge away.
Because I actually saw a reel recently about what to do for migraines, and one of them was caffeine and sugar.
Yeah. I mean, the sugar can it'll make it go away for a little while and then it'll come back. So the sugar doesn't give like the long-term effects, but caffeine is supposed to be good.
Okay.
For migraines. And like, honestly, for so many years, I would take like Excedrin and Midol and all the things, and that really destroys your gut. And I mean, not that soda is good for you. It's not. It is absolutely not. But I mean, I don't know. Like, you gotta weigh the the benefit and the risk.
I'm big on moderation. On moderation. Like, I have a friend who has a mom who's aging, like I think she's in her 80s, and you know, she loves a Coke every day. And they asked the doctor, like, can she have a Coke? And he's like, how many Cokes? And she's like, 1 a day. Can I just go to Costco, get like cans and give her 1 a day? And he's like, yes. Like, let the woman enjoy her Coca-Cola, right? Like, it's totally fine. So I agree with you. It's like, you got to use what's at your disposal. Sometimes it's not, you know, perfectly in line with your priorities, but if it helps, it helps. And it's also a treat, and there's nothing wrong with treats. Ask our pets. They love them.
Our pets do love treats. I will say, and you know what, I don't know why, it just reminded me. I was like, I haven't given Kim a chicken heart in like forever. Since we moved. I need to get her some chicken hearts.
How dare you? Yeah, we have Bear's Bites at our disposal at all times. I order boxes full from Sam, our friend who owns Bear's Bites. They are freeze-dried or dehydrated organs, and they nasty, but they don't feel nasty because they're freeze-dried or dehydrated. So they're like just dry treats. But really, when you think about what it is, like, you're like, this is a chicken heart. But the pets love them. And what I love about them, and I'm sure you do too, is that they are good for cats and dogs. So you don't have to like buy different things. And we've talked about this. You were actually on my show years ago being like, yeah, when it comes to cat stuff, it tends to be more expensive than dog stuff, right? Is that what you had said?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like a pink tax because I guess, and now I think we might have talked about this. I would imagine people like Nathan and Sterling are out here like hyping up all the men to have cats as pets, but like it is changing. More men are keeping pets as cats, but I think just kind of a societal expectation is that women have cats, and we already are constantly bombarded with the pink tax, right? Like I buy things from the men's section just because I'm not willing to pay the extra money. Like I don't care that it's pink. I don't care that my razor is pink, right? Like I'll just buy it from the men's section. And I think it's the same thing. It's like, well, women have cats and they're going to pay more for stuff anyway. And
yeah,
that's my theory.
That is, yes, you're right on. I think it might be that might be exactly why. And I do think that more men are adopting cats. They're such a great pet. And for a man who wants the companionship but maybe doesn't want to, like, you know, the responsibility of walking a dog, getting a dog walker, all that stuff, it is it's a good option for anybody, really. Like, forget your gender or whatever. But anyway, today we're talking about boarding cats, which I don't believe is more expensive than boarding dogs, because I feel like these are still novel concepts. So we're kind of developing this industry where it's cat boarding, cat only boarding is really what we're talking about today. So there are veterinarians that board whomever, but that's more like a kennel situation. I'm talking about, what I want to talk about is like a boarding facility that really caters to cats. If you have the choice between a kennel that takes dogs and cats and leaving your cat at home, please leave your cat at home, because any place that's going to have dogs is going to automatically be a stressor for your cat, because they're going to hear them, smell them, whatever. And because they are prey for dogs, they just get nervous. So they're better off at home. The only exception to that I've always said, even when I ran my pet sitting business, is if your cat needs round the clock care, sub-Q fluids, insulin shots, it has kidney failure, and you inevitably have to travel, unfortunately, a veterinary clinic would probably be the best place for them, unless you have like a vet tech, specialized pet sitter that can spend a lot of time with your pet. And they are out there. So like a lot of my clients, I do digital marketing for pet sitting, dog walking businesses, and a lot of them have medication administration, specialty medication administration. They can do sub-Q, they can do insulin shots, they can do pilling, they can do all the things. So in that case, I wouldn't recommend boarding anywhere. That would be like your optimal situation, would be to have somebody with vet tech experience come to your house and take care of your cat there. Obviously, one visit a day for like that cat wouldn't be enough. So you'd need more attention for that cat, especially a cat in kidney failure needs to be, you know, monitored pretty frequently. But you wouldn't want to board that cat either, because that cat would be really stressed out. Even in like the most beautiful facility, a cat with special needs, medical situation, chronic illness, whatever like that, is going to be better off at home if they can get the medical care that they need. So that's the first thing that we're talking about, is that cat boarding is not for every cat. In fact, I think that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I feel like it's for a very specific type of cat. And I do think that it's going to become more popular. I know that one of my clients is establishing a cat only lodge in St. Louis. And what's really cool about this particular place is that it's going to have like individual rooms for the cats that don't do well with other cats. And then it's going to have like cages and stuff where it's like more open, come and go, enrichment space where all the cats can play. So there are options for different cats. And I think that's really where the industry is going to go. We're seeing more cat only vet clinics, right? So we're going to start to see a lot more cat only boarding facilities, kennels, and things like that. And just the fact that it's cat only to me is already a huge improvement.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just understanding that as not only a business owner, but like as a pet parent, understanding that you're, even if you have a, even if you have a bipedal household, your cats are not necessarily going to be okay with other dogs, right? And then other dogs are not necessarily going to be okay with cats. And
Yeah,
so,
it's stressful. It's like, I mean, I can't imagine, like, it to me it would seem like the analogy that I feel is like on safari, like where
Mhm.
you're on safari and that might be right up your alley, but there's still like an element of like we're on safari, right? Like
Yeah.
literally just this week I read about some man going to use the bathroom and being eaten by a lion on safari.
What?
Yes.
I
So
mean, that's
like
the best way to go, right? Just
I can think of a million other ways that I would rather go.
it's an epic story for your friends and family. There's something
No,
wrong with me today.
there is what is in that Coca-Cola? Oh my God. Well, anyway, so like it's to me, it's like that. It's like even if they're okay-ish, there's kind of like that looking over your shoulder. So why would we do that to our pet when
Yeah.
especially got cats that are not used to dogs? Like if my cat is used to dogs barking, right? Because we have 2 dogs. He lives with 2 dogs. But a cat who only lives with cats or is a single
Mhm.
cat and is not used to dogs at all, you put them in this facility where there's dogs barking and immediately they're no longer at ease, right? So we're
Yeah,
taking
for
them out of
sure.
their familiar environment. We're taking them away from their favorite perch, their favorite cat tree, the smells that they're used to, their own litter box. We're taking them away from this perfect place that is their home, as imperfect as it might be in our minds. Their home is perfect for them. And then we're putting them in this place that smells like a different species, looks like a different species, uh, sounds like a different species, a species that is a predator to them. And now we're really screwing with them,
Yeah.
like taking me on safari.
Yeah.
Like people think I'm an animal lover
Mhm.
and I love animals, but I don't think I would ever pay to go on safari. Like I have heard enough stories about like close calls on safari that I am good. Like I will see it on YouTube. But
Really?
anyway, yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I had I interviewed somebody who literally took a horseback riding tour somewhere in Africa,
Uh-huh.
and something spooked a horse, and they almost like ran into like a bunch of lions.
Oh, wow.
Thankfully, the horse ran in the opposite direction, making
Yeah.
some time, and then like the jeep like scared off the
Oh, wow.
guides saw the guides that were nearby in a jeep saw what was happening and came and interfered. But no, it's not for me. So anyway, so like when I think about like being safe and comfortable, I don't necessarily think about being like around my predator.
Sure. I
You know
mean,
what I mean?
men. Let's just go.
Literally, like I choose the bear. I do because at least
Absolutely, choose the
that
bear.
I will choose that way to go over whatever else can happen. So yes, I choose the bear. But for cats, like we already know that they're prey and predator. We already know
Yeah.
that that makes them a little bit more susceptible to anxiety and feeling uncomfortable and feeling unsafe. And like sometimes that's why they scratch and bite us because, they're being defensive. But in these places that are designed for cats, they're designed for cats by not allowing anybody but cats in.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what makes them most cat friendly. That said, it's still going to smell like other cats. It's still not
Yeah.
going to be their home.
It isn't. I actually found a place not far from me that is almost identical to what you were describing. It's just not a lodge form. It's not in a lodge. It's like a regular building, but it's I don't know, maybe 45 minutes from me, so not too bad. And they have rooms set up so you can book a whole room and
Mhm.
they charge by the cat, so it's like whatever fee for the first cat and then like a reduced fee per additional cat, as long as they're in the same room. And they have them like decked out with like all the like um climbing things on the wall and cat trees and litter box, like all the things are there. And then it kind of goes from there, down from there, where they have
Exactly.
the large, like 3-story cages that they can be in. And then like there's lots of different options. They also do a daycare, which I find interesting because I just have never, I don't know, I've never heard of that. I think most people assume, and we've talked about this before, that cats are easy, right? That cats are, you can just leave them alone for a really long period of time. They're totally fine. They don't have the same requirements as dogs in that they can stay confined in the house and be okay. Like, you don't need somebody to come and actually take them outside to use the bathroom or for exercise or, things like that that dogs have. So people, I think, tend to be pretty comfortable with I see this all the time, hiring like teenagers in the neighborhood to come check on their cats once or twice a day. You know what I mean? Like
once or twice a day. Some people just do
yeah.
once a week. And you're like,
Oh my God.
your one cat alone in your house, prisoner for a week? Oh, but I left extra food. Like,
yeah,
it's awful.
oxidizing and yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's also not fair.
It
For the
isn't.
cat, especially a single cat, where like they do have a survival instinct, and if they haven't seen anybody for a few days, they're gonna start getting nervous about like, is this how I die? Is this how I go? Just
Yeah.
completely abandoned in here. So you have to think about how like that would be awful. And like one of the things that I do find beneficial for a group, like a boarding facility for cats, is actually for extended stays, where the cat does have to stay behind for, I mean, I've seen it happen in the pet, when I was in the pet sitting industry, we had clients who went somewhere for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months,
Yeah, this is
and
what it says. It says they offer discount for extended stays of 30 plus nights. And I was like, 30 plus nights? But then, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. And this is the thing. By 30 nights, your cat probably is settled in and kind of okay there, right? So like it is a positive thing at the end of the day. And one of the things I wanted to talk about, and I'll just kind of break this down, is that there's a type of cat that'll do really well with this.
Okay.
Not all cats will.
Yeah.
And we need to recognize that not all cats will. And the earlier you start your cat in a situation like this, the more likely they are that they're going to take to it. So if you have a 10-year-old cat, probably going to be difficult to get your cat super at ease in one of these places because they're just not used to it, right? Like this is completely foreign to them. My cat, who's maybe 3 now and is also a super social, confident cat, maybe with the right place and the right people, we can get him used to that. Another thing is the time that you're going to be leaving your cat. I think that's super important to consider. If you're only leaving for a weekend, I think that boarding your cat is going to be super disruptive to them. And it's not going to save you any money. It's not going to, be better for you. For that, I'd prefer a professional pet sitter come to your home once or twice a day minimum and check on your cat while you're gone for a long weekend. So like that's super important to me. And then 3, it's the quality of the facility. So like I'm talking about a facility that really takes the pet's needs into consideration. They don't have like a one size fits all cats go here, all cats do this, we have this for cats. Like this is a place that really gets to know the cat, has like a pretty thorough onboarding situation where they ask you a lot of questions. They have you register. They have your vet information. They have emergency contact information. They've gone to do all the due diligence. They maybe do like some kind of a temperature check on the cat before it comes in. Like, and I don't mean like a literal temperature check. I mean like a behavioral temperament kind of assessment to see if they are going to be comfortable in a group setting, because the group setting is going to be cheaper. So I think that most people are going to be like, yeah, put my cat in the group setting.
Right.
But the group setting is not necessarily like cats coming up to each other. It's just like you described, like these cages in like a general room where they kind of maybe have a mate, maybe they don't, but they see other cats. So that can really be off-putting for a cat. like a cat who's not used to being around other cats, just being in a cage next to another cat can be really unnerving for them. And a facility where they have true experts in cat behavior and understand what the cat is saying just by their kind of body language, they're going to determine, okay, you know what, your cat is not going to do well in one of these little cages. This cat needs its own room. And then the own room is not going to have a view of any cats. It's going to have maybe like its own setup. One of the most popular or like well-known cat boarding facilities, and this is not sponsored at all, is called Happy Cat Hotel, I think it's called. And Happy Cats all over the place. They have some in Dallas, in Texas. They have some in Connecticut. They have some in a lot of places. And what's cute is they have the theme of each room is like a city. So like Paris has the Eiffel Tower and a little cafe seating in the room for the cat. And you know, like some tropical place has like a palm tree and whatever. So it's really cute. The theming is really cute, but it's like a sizable room for the cat to basically make its own. And to me, that is perfect. Like if you can't have somebody come over to your house, you're having a renovation done in your home and your cat needs to go somewhere. You are moving, something like that. Like these rooms are amazing. I would say resources for those situations. I kind of wish I had done something. We don't have anything like this in El Paso. I kind of wish I had something like this when we did our house renovation 2 years ago, because our cat destroyed our couch because he was so stressed out. I mean, have you heard a compressor of like a nail gun? Like it is awfully loud and it's so stressful. So these rooms to me are like super nice, super well cared for. The client that I work with, her cat lodge is going to be called the Cattails luxury lodge for cats in St. Louis. So it's called Cattails Lodge. And she's going to theme these rooms like camping theme kind of thing, like a very cute outdoorsy, think Cabela's kind of theme. And what's most important is that obviously she's worked with, so like this I know because I know her, but she worked with an architect that specializes in these kinds of facilities, right? So this is not like some person being like, I can board cats and like throwing, you know, cages up against the wall and being like, we're open. This is like a space that's designed to facilitate having these rooms versus these lodges, which is the cages that she's talking about. And I think that, you know, they buy the right materials so that they're clean and they can make sure that there's no spread of illness. They can be really thoroughly clean between cat guests. They maintain that while the cats are there. So like you're talking about a facility that prioritizes disinfecting, immediately picks up accidents, all scoops litter boxes constantly, requires vaccinations, all those things. We're not talking about, you know, some random, you know, PetSmart equivalent store that just says like, oh, we board cats back there.
Yeah.
That's not what we're referring to as a cat boarding facility. I'm talking cat only. I'm talking high quality. And I'm talking about options because for my friend too, like there are cats that are going to want to be alone in the room. And then there are cats that are going to be okay in the more affordable lodges. And then she has the plan, and this is opening this summer, but she has the plan of having like an enrichment hour where the cat cages for those cats that are social, even the cats in the rooms that their parents like splurged for the room, but they want them to engage with other cats, they'll let them out into like this common area and they'll play with them and they'll have staff there to like, you know, engage with them and monitor the interactions. And maybe it's an hour. And then from that interaction, that hour, all the cats go back and like sleep the rest of the day. Cause we know that cats sleep like nonstop. So I do think that there's a place for it. I think it's so cool for when you have no choice but to get your cat out of the house. No choice. You're moving. The realtor is coming in 8 times a day to sell your house. Renovations. Like, I mean, if you have any other ideas of like why you would need to go, heaven forbid, there's like a carbon monoxide leak that you have to actually, one of my favorite podcasters just had a carbon monoxide leak in their house. So like literally it can happen to anybody. and thankfully the carbon monoxide detector went off, and like his partner knew to like call the police immediately because it sounded weird. But like, think about it. Like, you get your cat, you don't know where to go. Like, if you know that there's like a cat hotel, you can't, it's 100 and some degrees out. You can't leave him in the car. You go straight to the hotel and say, hey, like, I have to bring my cat. Do you have availability? The thing is too, I would say, is that a reputable facility, whether it be Cattails in St. Louis or Happy Cat, which is, like I said, in like a lot of places, this is what they specialize in. So this is not like cats are an afterthought, because one of the things that I think people don't realize when they open boarding facilities and they have both is that they're so different. So your training has to be different. Like, if you have a cat only boarding facility, you can assume that the people who are working there are going to have an understanding, even if it's just a basic one, of cats. Whereas if you put them in like a dog boarding facility that has a cat area, those people might all just be dog experts, right? Yeah. And they may just go in there and scoop the litter box, but not notice that your cat's lethargic, not notice that your cat was sneezing or coughing, things that are obviously a person who understands cats sees as a red flag. So to me, that is something that I would say is super important to understand, is that not all boarding facilities are created equal. And if you are kind of like waiting till the last minute to just throw your cat in boarding, you're probably going to end up at a boarding facility that's not going to be ideal. And then you're going to be like, oh my God, I'll never board my cat again. If you live somewhere like El Paso, you're not going to have this option. Cause like, that I know of, I don't have a cat only boarding facility. I don't even think we have a cat only vet here. Which is obviously really becoming way more popular everywhere. I remember being in Galveston for the Texas Pet Sitters Conference and walking around, and like this super adorable little cat only vet and boarding facility right next to each other, right on their like main road, where like near the water. It was so cute. Aww. And I was thinking, wow, that's really cool, because obviously Galveston is, to me, not like the most pet friendly city in America. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But they had this really cool facility, especially for people who may be going on cruises out of there. They can, drive over, leave their cat in this facility, pick it up when they come back. I have always said that the quality is really going to be your first kind of tell if this is a good option for your pet. So doing like a tour before you go there, seeing their reviews, doing all that, asking questions. I think people forget that they are allowed as consumers to ask questions and be discerning, right? Because like all of these facilities have a ton of rules, and that's so necessary. And as somebody who writes policies for pet sitting businesses, like, I get why they have rules, but like, ask about the rules, ask what exceptions there are, ask what workarounds there are, ask about your pet, like talk about your pet specifically, their needs, their special situations, and ask them. If don't just rely on what's on the website, call them and ask them, because as a person who writes copy for websites, we're not going to put all the details on there. Like, it's impossible. You would never read it all, because like, this industry is so ever changing. But like, if you want to know more about these facilities, call them and make an appointment, or, literally interview them on the phone. Yes. Make women come in, ask all the questions. And if you see something out of place, ask like, what time are the litter boxes clean? Because they look kind of dirty. Yeah. And maybe it's about to happen. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's done twice a day, and you should know that. You should know how often the litter boxes are being cleaned. And if you hire a pet sitter, you should be asking the same question, because there are pet sitting businesses that will scoop during every visit, and there are pet sitting businesses that will scoop once a day. For me, at my business, we scooped every visit. Yeah. No exception. Because makes sense. Yeah. I never want, if we're ever late, if something happens, it's been cleaned. You know what I mean? Like, if the cat feels sick, it's always clean, and we can see what the latest situation was compared to yesterday or, this morning. So I think it's quality over anything, but also knowing your cat and recognizing that a cat with like a chronic illness, a senior cat, a cat with special needs, it may be too much for them to leave home, just even if it's a 5-star hotel, they don't want to go there.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like you said, just going to a boarding facility, it doesn't matter how nice the boarding facility is going to be stressful
It's a
on your
change.
cat.
And cats don't like change.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is, you know, again, for me, another reason to, if there's any way possible to have somebody come into your home to take care of your cat, like that's always for me going to be like the first.
The optimum situation, for sure.
Yes, absolutely. But again, like you said, renovations or something crazy is happening.
Long trips. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I have a friend right now who's traveling and she lives like 30 minutes from me, but I've been taking care of her cat since Saturday. And like, it's only one cat. And like, I'm happy to do it this one time, but like, I don't know that it's sustainable that every time she travels, you know, but also for a week, I don't think that cat should leave her house for a week. Right. Because by the time she is settling in, no, it's not even a week. She left Saturday, it's coming back Thursday. So it's not even a week. By the time the cat is maybe starting to settle, like you're pulling her out and bringing her home. Yep. But I think that for people who are traveling for 2 weeks, 4, 3, 5 weeks, I mean, I think it's such a great tool because they will end up settling in. And if you can afford the private rooms, even better. If they're comfortable with socializing, awesome. You know, I think that there's a lot of like very case by case situations. But for me, optimal is always going to be a pet sitter coming to my house. Especially now with 3 pets, right? Like you have how many pets?
Yeah. Me right now 4.
So 3 cats and 1 dog.
Yep.
So if for boarding, it wouldn't make sense because you'd want like a cat boarding only and then Kim and like the best dog boarding you could think of. So like it would come out to so much more expensive than having a pet sitter. Yeah. Same for me. And I don't even think like in my area, there are any facilities I'd want to take my pets. Like I have not, 1, looked into it, but 2, just because of the other pet parents. This is not against the facilities or the service providers. It's actually because of the market, because the pet parents in El Paso, from my kind of impression and from what I've heard from like our service providers, is that they don't want to pay. Like they don't believe in paying. They want the kid next door, or you know, some like they'll just leave the cat for a week with like a feeder or like a heap of kibble or whatever. And like that's just the reality. So the chances of us getting one of these like amazing boarding facilities, whether it's for dogs, cats, or otherwise, are pretty slim. So I don't even have this as an option, but if I did, I would definitely use it. Maybe I'm having like a New Year's Eve party and like I want my cat to be safe and comfortable, and I would absolutely leave them somewhere that they wouldn't get lost, or that they wouldn't like have to, you know, deal with like a million people coming to my house or whatever it is. Kids coming in and out. If I have, you know, family coming over and staying with me and it's just too much for my cat, maybe I would. And for me, the biggest thing is, if you are going to use something like this, do it often. Do it often enough that your cat gets used to it. Because cats obviously will get used to a pet sitter coming in pretty quickly because they're still in their house. They're feeding them. They put 2 and 2 together pretty quickly, right? They're like, oh, even though I will say that I had cats like chase me out of their house when I was a pet sitter.
Yeah. I have a pet sitter I had when I was in San Diego texted me one time, and she had locked herself in the laundry room because this cat was like terrorizing her, would not. And she sent me videos of like this cat like screaming, trying to get in. No, she was pet sitting somebody else's cat, and she's like, "What do I do?"
Yeah,
she knows what I do, right?
Okay, got it. I had a pet sitter call me. I was on an airplane. I mean, it happened to me, but luckily I was able to get out. Like they cornered me in the laundry room, and I kind of was like, and I like left. But in her case, like they had cornered her in like the master bedroom in the cat's house, but they're obviously more territorial over that area. And the master bedroom, what I noticed as a professional pet sitter for a really long time is that the master bedroom and I don't like to say actually master bedroom, the main bedroom, but where the person of the house sleeps seems, from my experience, to be very high level territory for the cat. So we would have to tell people, like, take the litter box out of that room, take water. If you want me to refill water and scoop the litter box, it can't be in that room, because we would see the cats, like, they were fine until we started walking in there. And then as professionals, because you learn as you do this, we would be like, red flag, he starts to hiss the second I cross this threshold. I'm going to leave that litter box and I'm going to focus on everything else. I'll bring an extra litter box or whatever, just so that I can avoid that. Because I had a staff member call me in hysterics, I was on an airplane. We were about to take off and she's calling me in hysterics. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to hang up with you. Cause like the flight attendant's like looking at me. And she was like, the cat's going to kill me. Like, the cat's going to kill me. She was hyperventilating. She didn't know what to do. How do I get out? And I had another one who locked herself in a bathroom, waiting until the cat, and like called me and was like, what do I do? And I'm like, what do you have? Like, do you have a towel? Like, wrap a towel around your legs, wave a towel like a bull in a bullfight. Like, I don't know what you do, but like, protect yourself somehow. So yeah, like cats can be really, but that's few and far between. Like, literally in the 100,000 pet sits that the WAG Pack did, we did more than 100,000 pet sits in 12 years. I can think of like 3 situations where cats were like really over the top.
Yeah.
Otherwise, when you get to their house and they kind of put 2 together, that, oh, they're here, they're scooping my litter box, they're human, they're feeding me. Okay, I guess this is fine. They may not like want to see you. They may hide. They may never want to like you to pet them, but they're still okay with it. That is because they're in their home. That is because they feel safe. Like, they know where to hide. They know that if this person who is feeding them is not as, benign as they immediately thought, they can go hide under the bed, or they have like a favorite place in the closet or whatever. At a boarding facility, they're not going to have any of that, at least not initially. So if you do frequent the boarding facility, now they're creating a rapport with the staff, assuming there's not a lot of turnover. They're maybe creating a rapport with the other pets in the place, right? Because like, I have a client who is actually, it's not a cat boarding facility, it's a dog boarding and daycare. And she kind of does it on a membership base. So like, a lot of the pets are the same.
Gotcha.
So they do develop a relationship with those pets, and they kind of temperament test to make sure that all the pets kind of have the same vibe, like a similar vibe, so that it's very small, very boutique. So it works. And like, if you were to go somewhere where it is pretty boutique, pretty small, and they have, a lot of the same people traveling around the holidays or around summer, big holidays, long weekends, then your cat may be able to like develop a relationship with another cat. It may start to feel safe in that environment because it's familiar, but that doesn't happen after one visit. That happens after many visits, and not just like one weekend at a time. Like, it would need to be a little bit extended, and it would need to be really positive based. If your pet is like food motivated, like mine is, we could probably do that pretty easily. But if your cat is not food motivated, you'd have to work with the facility to figure out what makes them tick, what's going to make them happy. And that it takes legwork, right? Like, it's not something that happens overnight. And the idea of boarding or pet sitting is always going to be for you to be able to enjoy your life at the end of the day. And if your cat is not taking well to something, whether it be boarding or daycare or in-home pet sitting, you're not going to be able to enjoy your trip. You're not going to be able to enjoy your cruise next week. You're not going to be able to enjoy getting together to honor the life of somebody you've just lost. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be in this place that you have to be, either your vacation or visiting family or a relative sick or whatever. And you're going to be like tied to what's happening at home with your cat that's not happy. So that's why doing the legwork before you leave is so important. And like, I don't know a lot of places that do cat daycare.
Yeah, that was interesting.
But I don't think that's a bad idea if you are going to inevitably have to leave your cat for a renovation, for a trip, for whatever.
I mean, it could be a really great way to start when you first get a cat, to socialize them so that they are for the rest of their lives like really adaptable to new environments, new situations. Yeah, that actually
It's
would
such a
be
good socialization tool. Even if you just drop them off, like let's say that you don't need to go anywhere, you're not having a renovation,
right.
you drop them off for an hour.
Yeah.
See how they do. The next time, a week later, you drop them off for 2 hours. If you can do something like that, where you are slowly acclimating your cat to this experience, I mean, you could then travel with your cat. You can adventure with your cat. Your cat may still be terrified of dogs because there's no dogs in this facility, right? They're not going to be like ready to take on the whole world. They're not going to necessarily, but they will be more comfortable around strangers that come to your house. They'll probably be more adaptable in general. If you do down the line move, if you do down the line have a renovation and there's people coming in and out of your house, even just before the work starts. You know what I mean? Like, really, we think about socialization with dogs a lot, right? There's like so much we talk about with socialization. You and I have done like a whole,
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff on socialization. But I do think that this is a really good tool if you plan accordingly, if you start early, and if you really pay attention to what your cat's telling you about whether or not they're going to embrace it. And like that one, if you know that you have to leave your cat, using that daycare option, or even if they don't offer it, asking for a daycare option. Like, can I drop my cat off for an hour? And I will be literally down the street having a coffee. And
Yeah.
as soon as you feel like my cat's had enough, I'll come get him. You know what I mean? Something like that, where that's really the most compassionate way to expose your cat to
Yeah.
anything that's outside of your home. And prioritizing that compassion and that gentle introduction is not only like going to set them up for success and probably going to help you make this like happen and possible, but it's also going to prevent any kind of like trauma from your cat that could really, really affect them. I mean, cats are, we've heard of like cats going from like super well behaved to like peeing all over the place after a move. Like,
Of
that's all it
course.
takes sometimes,
Yep.
So we don't want to play with that.
Yeah. I kind of also like the idea of these places popping up to kind of show people who would never have thought that like they should be doing these types of things, that they should be socializing their cats specifically in different ways than we have thought in previous generations. Like maybe it's not going to work because they have a 10-year-old cat at this point, right? Like maybe they're not going to socialize that cat, but maybe it's going to like plant a seed in their mind for the next cat they get. It's like, oh yeah, I kind of remember seeing this place or hearing about this cat daycare idea, that like maybe I should do that with this next cat that I get. Like I like that idea a lot too.
I do too. I think that it's like, this is one of those things that's like a process, right? Like this is not going to be embraced overnight, which I think it's really cool that these like Happy Cat franchises, in case anybody's interested in starting one in El Paso. I would love that. But I think it's a big risk from the person. Like, think about like if I were to be like, oh, I want to start one of these. I'm going to franchise a Happy Cat in El Paso. It's a big risk because there's so much education involved, right? It's a lot. People still need education about having a pet sitter come to your home and scoop your litter box.
Yeah.
People are like, what? Cats need clean litter? Like, yes.
Yeah.
But people still haven't put that together. So now you're telling them I have to pay like $50, $80, and I have no idea what they go for, but I have to pay for a room that's decorated as like with a Parisian theme for my cat. Like, I'm not doing that, right? So, like, it's a risk for these facilities. So those of us who believe in it and who believe in the value of it really are going to be the ones who either make it so that they can survive that education period and that transition of our generations to better understand how this works and how it can help, or them completely failing and being like, remember when we used to board cats?
Well, I heard something not too long ago. I really my brain does not want to work for me today, but it was talking about some of the positive attributes of Gen Z, which are harder to find apparently. But no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Kind of.
Listen,
So,
listen. I feel bad for Gen Z. So all I can do is say
yeah,
I feel bad for you. Like we did
I do
not set you up
too.
for success. So like I'm
Yeah.
not gonna sit here and talk bad about you. Oh, my heart breaks for
I
Gen
know.
Z.
I do too, really, because I feel like I mean, well, that's a whole other thing. Like you're absolutely right. We did not set them up for success. Um, th- yeah. But some of the more positive attributes are that they are much more willing to put time, energy, and money into their pets. And they understand the value that goes along with and the responsibility of having a pet. Which is kind of interesting considering a lot of the other things that people complain about Gen Z, but I think they really do take pet parenting a lot more seriously than previous generations. And so it could very well be like
Yeah.
they're going to bring up these and like the pet industry is already insane as far as like how many billions of dollars it pulls in every year, but hopefully like maybe more targeted. We talk about that a lot, like more targeted with how you're spending your money, and so that maybe we're not continuing to prop up some of these brands and products that really are not great and funneling it into things that are better for our pets,
Yeah.
like cat boarding facility.
Yeah, well, cat boarding, think about it for a Gen Zer who just graduated college, who wants to do like, backpacking in
Summer
Europe.
abroad, yeah.
Yeah, like you want to do that, but you have a cat that you committed to. Your parent doesn't want the cat. Like in my case, I had a dog that I left when I went off to college. I had a dog that I left with my mom. And obviously the plan was for me to, as soon as I graduated, take her back. And she never let me take her, which is fine. But I was 17 when I got that cat. And obviously, like, I didn't like if it was a dog, I wouldn't have had anywhere to leave her because my mom's not a cat person. Like if it was a cat, like I would have had to like rehome her or whatever. If it were a short period of time, not like a full 4 years of college, if I had just said, hey, like my sister did a study abroad,
Yeah.
and stayed home, but like for a period of time was gone, like this would be an amazing opportunity for, yes, it's costly, sure, but it's your cat.
Right.
And it's not something that, you can just like replace, because we know that like just because you have this connection with this cat doesn't mean the next cat you're going to get, it's going to be the same connection. So we know that. So you leave them here while you go and, explore the Himalayas for a month or 2 or 3. And that's just part of your trip, expense. And you come back and your cat is healthy, happy, and well cared for while you had the adventure of a lifetime. Same goes for retirees, because like those are your other big, pet people, retirees and empty nesters. Those are obviously 2 different generations usually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But empty nesters, retirees who want the companionship of a pet, but they also want the flexibility to travel.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they can have like this standing relationship with a cat boarding facility, where they know that, on Tuesday morning, I'm going to drop her off. And, 2 weeks from now, I'm going to pick her up and she's going to be happy. And they're going to tell me about all her adventures. And I'm going to see pictures of her sitting at the reception desk, like running the show. Like those kinds of things are so sweet and wonderful. And you have like this support system, that maybe your very social cat wouldn't be happy at home with like that cat who's like welcoming everybody at the front desk, maybe wouldn't be happy at home getting a visit for 2 weeks by a pet sitter. Like it wouldn't be enough. And my cat, again, right now we have 3 pets, but if my cat was an only cat, and one day he will be, because he is my youngest by far, and I don't plan on getting another pet in a long time, just because we want to be able to travel. And we have some plans for the family, potentially like spending some time in Spain, blah, blah, blah. And so like, I realistically don't want to get another pet. So like would once or twice a day, 15 minutes, 30 minutes from a pet sitter be enough for my cat? At this point in his life, no.
Yeah.
Maybe by the time that he's an only cat, yes. But right now, I think he'd be meowing and asking where everybody was all day and stressing himself out and scratching up my couch. So again, I think I think cat boarding is novel. And I think cat boarding is potentially like, questionable for some people.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it has its place. And I love to see cat parents getting more options.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know, like, I just keep thinking, obviously my cats are they're 16 and 17 at this point. And like, one of my cats would absolutely prefer being in a boarding facility, like where there are people there constantly that she can bug and meow at and say, come pet me any time of day that she wants. You know what I mean? Like, that she would be totally fine. And then one of my boys is so adaptable. He'd be fine no matter what. I feel like, yeah, take me there. It'll be fine. Leave me here and bring me a pet sitter. That would be fine too. And then my other one, I feel like, would just be terrified. There's no way he would want to be at a boarding facility.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And
not
you
at
have
all.
to know your cat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to know your cat. It's the same thing with dogs, because like Satchmo has been boarded a lot. He was my sister's dog. He stayed with friends. He has had people stay in the house with him, like friends stay in the house with him in Spain. There's not a lot. Like now there's more, but like when she first got him, like there was no professional pet sitter coming to your house. Like it was like you had to use a friend. And now, like in Miami, before he moved in with me, he went to a boarding facility a couple times and he did great. Even though he's like the bitey one that like is unpredictable, he does fine in a boarding facility. Kira, the one who's terrified of storms, terrified of everything, sits by the front door waiting for us, even if I'm just standing out the other side. I wouldn't even want to try. Because I just feel like it would be so, like, she's easily stressed, so it would be really stressful. So it's like I think the biggest takeaway is that it's not about the species so much as it is about the individual and about the circumstance and about what makes the most sense when you really break it down for the pet and for you as the pet parent. Because ideally, all of these things should allow you to live your life without guilt, without feeling bad, without breaking the bank. In the case of a lot of these boarding facilities, by the way, they might take care credit. So like that might, make things a little bit easier for you as you budget. Not sponsored, but I think my vet doesn't take care credit, by the way. But
Wow.
yeah, she doesn't. I can understand why. I'll just make an assumption that she's probably not super comfortable extending credit for biblical reasons. That's all I'm going to say about that, because she's very religious. But I would just assume that that's probably like she just doesn't want to go down that route, like not comfortable. But like if you were to like, plan a long trip and compare and see that, the boarding facility is more affordable for you and it is a long trip. And, this should allow you to take that long trip and set up your pet, leave them in the care of a reputable person or team, and allow you to live your life without being wherever you're going, worrying about, oh my God, my cat's been alone for 12 hours, checking your camera to be like, when is the pets that are coming? So again, it's finding that place where the service meets your pet's needs and it gives you the peace of mind. Both of those things should really go hand in hand. Otherwise, keep looking for a solution that gives you both things.
Yeah.
That's my biggest takeaway.
Well, I think you covered it pretty well. And I think our hour is almost up.
And I think there's a storm coming in El Paso. I keep looking out the window and my tree, which needs trimming in the fall, I was told I have to wait, it's just like sideways.
Oh, wow.
Another sandstorm. Wow. I thought sandstorm season was over. It's not.
Yeah, you've gotten so many of them. My goodness.
I've lived in El Paso for 8 years in May, and we did not have maybe like 2 in the entire time I lived here until this spring, where we had 8 just this spring. And when
Wow.
I tell you it's like dust storm, it's a dust storm where you have no visibility. Like, it's like, have you ever been in like really deep, dense fog?
Mm-hmm.
Like that,
Yeah.
but dusty.
But yeah, dust.
But dusty. Like, you need to like shout. Like, it's bad for your for to
Yeah.
breathe it in.
Sure.
You have to shower and and your face feels like you have, like, after you go to the beach and you have salt dried on that's what you feel like, but just like being out here in the desert. So it sucks. But if you guys have anything to add, any good, bad experiences with cat boarding, even if it's not like a cat only boarding, but something that taught you like, oops, I probably should have looked for a cat only boarding facility, things like that. Please comment below. Let us know. This is a really good conversation to keep going in comments if you want to. And if you have any recommendations for topics for the future, you know where to find us.
Yes, please let us know, because we gotta figure this out every week, y'all.
Well, I actually am not going to be around for a while because I have so much travel coming up. I have so much travel coming up. So I'm doing our cruise. We leave for our cruise next Thursday. So we leave El Paso on Tuesday. Okay. Then we come back the following Tuesday. We have 3 days in El Paso, and then we leave to New York for 2 weeks. And then I'm going to see you. So the next time you and I are live, maybe we'll be live in Williamsburg.
Oh my gracious.
Yeah.
Wow. So we're not doing a weekly pet roundup for like a month.
Yeah. Or who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? After that, yeah, August should be fine.
Okay.
Because we're together like the weekend of the 11th. It's my anniversary, my wedding anniversary. I'm celebrating with Jessica.
I get to celebrate your wedding anniversary with you. I love it.
My 10-year anniversary.
It's funny because I was just I'm gonna have to tell you when we get off, but like I was just telling somebody that like yes, I will probably have one more relationship in my life, and then after that I'm done. After that I'm just gonna marry Isabel, and we're just gonna like go live out in the country and save all the animals, and I'm just gonna be done after that.
Oh my God, so funny because I was just talking to my my allergy. I get allergy shots every week, and I've developed a relationship with one of the girls, and she was telling me that her daughter does not want to have kids, does not want to she just wants to live somewhere in the middle of nowhere with all the pets. And she said, well, maybe she'll have a partner. And we both looked at each other and we're like, but why?
But why?
Yeah, and we were like besties. The besties can live in the compound together, and everything will be just fine. And the bears are welcome.
The bears. Yes, no, the bears are welcome.
We'll deter the bears by not leaving food out in the middle of the night. But then we'll just take care of our pets, and we'll have like a nice garden. We'll drink only Mexican Cokes and rum.
At that point, yeah. I mean eat whatever we want.
The doctor
drink whatever we want. Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, I've heard of old ladies living to 103 and being like, oh, it's the cocktails I had every night. When they ask them the key to longevity, they're like whiskey.
I like the ones where you go up to an older lady in the street, like you can like older, like been retired for a while, or like in a nursing home. There are some like nursing home accounts on Instagram.
Yes,
where it's, like,
I've seen one.
The whiteboards or whatever.
Yes.
And they're always like, I mean, almost across the board, the men are like, having a good woman, blah, blah, blah. The women are like,
stay single. Yes.
Stay single.
Every one of them. It's so funny. And some of them, the husband's sitting right there, and she's like,
yep,
don't get married.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
People are going to be like, those two hate men.
I do not. I definitely do not hate men.
I have a son, and I adore him, and I think the world of him. So that is not the case. I do think that we're all like men and women, heterosexual men and women are a little bit like in a tough space right now. And I think that that's just where we are as a generation, our generation, maybe more so than others, are just kind of in a weird place.
I don't know. I see it with like the 20 somethings too.
Yes.
It's not okay.
Too.
There's so much toxicity and like game playing. And I'm like,
oh, dating? Are you kidding? I can't even imagine. I
am not here for the games. I am not here for the games. I mean, no. But even if I were in my 20s, I would not want to be here for the games anyway. That is so toxic. That is so like work on yourself. Oh, that reminds me. I saw a clip. Taylor Tomlinson, she's a comedian.
Yeah, a comedian, the late night show host.
And so I saw this clip. I don't know what it was. They're like on a church pew because I think she grew up very religious and like reformed. And she was talking.
The reform is the opposite way. Like I think the word reform is when you go from not religious to religious.
Yeah, not in my mind, but. So she's
reformed. She no longer goes to church.
But it's like a church pew on a stage, and she has these different guests. And one of them is a therapist who is in the process of creating or about to come out with a new dating app. And it's like a 75 question thing you have to go through to make sure you are emotionally intelligent enough to be dating. And if you are not, it pairs you with a therapist.
That's amazing.
It's brilliant.
I think it's fantastic.
Brilliant. Like, yes.
But will anybody pursue the therapist? That's where I just don't have the faith. That's why we want cats and dogs.
That's why we want cats and dogs.
That's why we want cats and dogs. Because we get to choose them, right? Like we go, and sometimes they choose us, like when we go adopt them and stuff. Sometimes, actually, one of my yoga Zumba students just told me, she's like, "You write about pets, right?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I just lost my dog of 16 years that she had from like a puppy like 2 days prior." And she was doing really well considering, right? She didn't like break down or anything. But she was like, and I remember he like chose me, like she went to the breeder and like she was like, the breeder was like showing her all of them. And he just kind of like sat next to her and he like wouldn't budge, and they're all playing with the ball. He went to get the ball and came back. And she was like, "I think he chose me." And I was like, "Yeah, he did." But we go and we kind of like consent to this relationship, right? We like pick them and whatever. And then we kind of grow together. I feel like when you get a pet, you grow together. If you do the right things, if you meet their needs, they will grow well adjusted, and you'll have this great relationship, hopefully, and you'll have a long time together, which doesn't always happen, but that's like that's what you normally see. With relationships with other humans, you're not guaranteed you're going to grow together, even if you do all the right things. So I think that's why people are like kind of like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you can't force anybody.
Pets are inherently good.
They are.
Right? Yeah. Like what you just shared recently, like when we're like totally talking nonsense now, but you just shared like a duet that you were watching.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you shoot a dog or you shoot a person because they're gonna like injure your dog. Like, do you really value the life of the dog over a human? Like over a human that's trying to hurt my dog?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good riddance.
Mm-hmm.
Bye. Like what? What kind of question is that? Yes, I value my pet 100%, a million times. Yes. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that this person thinks that there's like another answer to that question blows my mind.
I mean, I do think there certainly are people out there like that. I hate to think it, but I do think that there are. But also, even though it was, I'm guaranteeing all negative, she got a lot of views. She got a lot of, so I mean,
there was a lot of traction on that one. So good for her.
Right.
I mean, this is the thing. My mom always says on the internet, you have to share something really, really amazing or really, really stupid, and you'll go viral. There has to be one of the two extremes. You have to say something really, really dumb that people can't help themselves but share and comment because you're such a fool.
Yeah.
Or you have to have like a dog dancing salsa who like is
Yeah.
genuinely dancing like, merengue or whatever. And like, it's just awesome. And people are like loving it. But there's nothing in between. Like you share like normal, realistic, commonplace, intelligent banter. And like people are like, okay, thanks.
Yeah. Not hitting that dopamine switch.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But it is what it is. It's for me at least, that's the route I've chosen to take on social media. Like I think I need to educate people. I don't know what it is. Like I need to educate people. I guess because I wanted the education. So I want to educate.
That's where you find your people. Cause like I am not necessarily seeking the dopamine fix really. I don't know. It's like a vibe, right? Like I
send them to you anyway.
Yeah. No, but like what you send me, was it a jump rope? Was there a jump rope?
There was a jump rope. And
those are fine. Please keep sending those. But I keep like trying to find, maybe I'm a glutton for punishment, but I like to find like-minded storytellers, even if they don't have like a big following. I'm interested. So like even on Facebook, which I'm not on very much at all, like some of the posts that I actually read are the super long ones where somebody's like sharing an experience or something. And I just like to kind of like learn from other people. And I do think that the people, like for my clients, the people we're kind of seeking out are that 1% of pet parents that are just have a relentless pursuit of excellence in everything that they do. And they want the best for their pets. And they happen to live in this area that my clients service. And those are our perfect clients. And we don't need to reach somebody in like Spain or Germany or Latin America with our viral reel. We just want to reach those people that are really, truly going to spend the money and the time and the resources that they have to making their pets happy. And I'm kind of that person online. I'm kind of looking for the best of the best online. And jump ropes.
And I mean, chopping wood. I mean, all of it. There's so much education out there. I need to figure out.
And tarot card readers.
What is the best axe to use to chop that wood? And like
maybe I've never been a jump roper, but if I watch that video you sent enough, I might learn how to jump rope and like, all the tricks.
It makes me want to get in the gym.
It does. For sure. It does. In the gym.
It is motivating. So that is.
All right. I think we've lost everybody now because it's just like me and Jessica having like happy hour now. But the next time we see you, we may be having happy hour in July. So sometime the week of July 8th.
Where are we doing? Oh, are you going to be here on it? I mean, we can do it over the weekend because I know it's the 11th, 12th. I have my calendar blocked the 11th, 12th, 13th.
I get in on the 8th at night. So like, and I leave on
Monday. You get in on the 8th?
Yeah. Because I'm flying in from New York.
Let me change my calendar because
so we will see you guys the week of July 7th. We hope you have a wonderful start of summer, a very safe July 4th. If you want to think about how to prepare your pet for July 4th, we did a weekly pet roundup last year around this time about tips to prepare for the 4th. So look that up on the Pet Parenting Reset on the podcast feed, and it will be there from last year around this time. It was June. And definitely please start preparing now for your poor pets. They will be very scared for summer storms and for fireworks. So if you have a prescription, fill it now.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Maybe.
And if you want a boarding facility that's amazing, book it now.
Oh my gosh.
Or a pet sitter that's amazing, book it now. July 4th, you're probably late, but for any time after that, you may be like book at least with 2 months notice is what I always say to people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
At the Wag Pack, we only scheduled 2 months out because I always thought maybe I'd win the lotto, so I didn't really want to overcommit myself.
That's hilarious.
Seriously, I was like, no, I'm gonna win the lotto. And then people's plans change too much.
They do. That's true.
So like they would book like if they booked 4 months ahead, then by the time that like the time came, they were like, oh wait, I forgot. What did I book? Blah, blah, blah. So I only did 2 months out. So some reputable companies will still book you at 2 months, but you're really pushing it if you wait longer than that.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your week. We will talk to you.
And follow me on Covered in Pet Hair so you can see all my adventures. I'm going on a cruise with my children and my husband. We're celebrating our 10-year anniversary early because I'm going to be with Jessica for my actual anniversary. And we're celebrating it on a cruise, exact cruise I did with the Texas Pet Sitters because my kids were so jealous that I didn't take them. So I booked this cruise to the Caribbean. We're only going to Cozumel for the day, but it's still gonna be fun. And then we're going to Lake George, New York, which I've never been to. And so that should be really fun. And hopefully I will post a lot of fun things on Covered in Pet Hair. So if you want to tag along or follow along, please follow me there.
All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your week. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Give your pets some love for us. Bye.